Hi folks, this is All the Fruit, and here I'm in the city of Sanremo on the Italian Riviera, but I found quite an interesting type of Monstera growing along this wall. Sanremo is a town at the same geographical latitude as southern Canada, but it has a climate more similar to southern Florida or southern Texas. It's one of the most amazing flukes of climate in the world. They grow a lot of exotic plants. The area is basically almost frost-free. Basically it's like southern Florida, just with a different climate. Monstera is not rare here, and actually I'm foraging regularly for Monstera fruits in Sanremo. But when I found this Monstera here, it looks kind of strange. They are growing like 5 meters up this wall. The wall is south-facing, but south of it there is a house which is much higher than the wall. The whole wall is overgrown with Monstera, and they are producing fruits. I think they are growing out of those big containers down here. But everything about those Monsteras is small. Yes, they are growing about 5-6 meters high, but Monstera can grow up to like over 10 meters high. The leaves are small, and I'll show you the fruits in a moment. They are also small. The plants don't look starved or something. Look at that, producing a lot of young fruit, producing a lot of young leaves this spring. The ones with the more light green. The leaves are just smaller. The stems are much thinner than the Monsteras I'm used to. And if you look at the fruits, of course I don't know if they are fully developed already, but they are quite small. Look at the size. Smaller than my hand. This one, slightly bigger. Here a couple more of roughly the same size. So, small fruits, smallish leaves. Well, with Monstera you cannot say small, but smallish leaves, and thin stems. Now let me show you a couple Monsteras which are growing nearby and which look more normal. Here, let's just go to the next plot, which is some sort of public building, so that I can walk into the courtyard. And look at that. They have some Monsteras. The stems are 3, maybe 4 times bigger. Look at the size of the leaves. They are about 1 meter long. Look at the size of the fruits. The fruits are not gigantic for Monstera, and this one is definitely not fully developed, but it's considerably bigger. Actually, fruits can get almost twice the size of this one. Here, once again, look, they chopped off a couple leaves. Big. They didn't chop off any fruits, unfortunately. I would take them. Let's look at this from the other side also. Yeah, big. Thick stems, about 3 times thicker. The leaves, 3 times bigger, and also with more lobes and holes. And the fruits are also quite big. In the nearby Parque Ormond, there is another bunch of kind of suffering Monsteras where every organ is a lot smaller than it could be. But the reason for this is the shade. No matter how much care the gardeners would take of them. Here it's just too shady, and I guess because of the shade also often too dry, because those giant figs here suckle up all the all the water and nutrients. And look here, quite thin Monstera stems, and here are some plants which are really suffering. Yeah, this doesn't make the identification any easier. There is a label, Monstera deliciosa, but yeah, I think this is Monstera deliciosa, but here you can clearly say it's due to the living conditions that they are so small. About the first population, not so sure. Right on the other side of the street is the Parque del Cirio, very well maintained park, which I always visit when I'm in Sanremo, but not extremely lush water-wise. And here, as you can see, the Monstera deliciosa. Again, the leaves are about 1 meter long. The stems are very thick. The fruits are not yet completely developed, but considerably bigger. So, what are those? What are those monsteras which are growing right on the other side of the street in those big containers? Please tell me, folks, another species, another variety, or don't they just get enough water and nutrients when growing in these containers? I'm very curious. Unfortunately, none of the fruit seem to be ripe, or I would have done also a tasting video, of course. Apart from that, stay tuned for a lot more fruit videos from the beautiful and incredibly fruit-rich city of Sanremo. And of course, don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe.